the Pakistani society, it is a highly patriarchal society. The men, they are the controller, they are the decision maker, they are the people who are sitting at the top positions, and eventually the women, even though she is right, even though she is demanding her right, she have to somehow seek assistance from these men.
Standing there in front of her own brothers and relatives, those same people that she grew up with, and now they are basically standing behind her with guns ready to end her life. A heartbreaking tragedy has brought global attention to the deadly intersection of culture and gendered violence in Pakistan. In the Balok region of Balochistan, a young couple, Sheetal and Zarak, were brutally murdered for the crime of choosing love over tribal approval and from their family. The marriage, reportedly sanctioned by neither family nor tribe, was deemed as a threat to tradition, and in response, an informal council of elders ordered their execution, branding their union as an insult to cultural values. And this reminds us of a grim pattern. Every year, hundreds of women, and in some cases men, do lose their lives in so-called honor killings carried out by family members who claim to be upholding dignity and tradition. The reasons are as hollow as they are as horrifying: a marriage of choice, the decision to either leave an abusive husband, or even the trauma of rape. In many communities, it takes more than an accusation to condemn a woman to death. In today's episode of On Rights, Crime and Justice, we want to look into what fuels this culture of impunity and what it looks like, and why it looks like the justice system rather fails to protect most of the vulnerable people, especially the women. I have three wonderful Pakistani women joining us to take us through this conversation. Huat Al-Ain, a lawyer and advocate for human rights and gender equality; Tayaba Rihan, journalist and social worker; and Anis Amjad, a law student and also an activist for women and disabled persons. It's a pleasure to have you all three joining us on this program. I'll start with you, Huat. How are you doing today?
We are doing good. What about you?
I'm very well, thank you. So let's get right into the conversation. When you first came across the news of this tragic killing of Shital and Zarak in Balochistan, what was your initial reaction and thought? I mean, I personally, I could only imagine how the young woman felt standing there in front of her own brothers and relatives, those same people that she grew up with, and now they are basically standing behind her with guns ready to end her life. I could only just imagine how horrifying and such scenario must have been playing in her mind. So when you first of all came across the video and the news, what was your initial thought and reaction to this incident that is not even the first, but it seemed to blow up much more? Just a little bit on that.
Okay. Thank you, Tony. Before answering your question, I would like to clarify one simple point, that the names Sheetal and Zarak are just the fictional names of the deceased. Their real names were Bano Bibi and Asadullah. And now coming to your question, when I first saw the news, I felt very sad and shocked to see that even in today, 21st century, people are being killed in name of honor. And it's so heartbreaking to see that even the local tribal jirga of Balochistan is justifying that act on the basis of tradition and honor. And I also like to clarify this point, that in Pakistan, the Supreme Court of Pakistan has clearly said that these jirga systems are unlawful. And for those who don't know what jirga systems are, so let me tell you, jirga system is basically a gathering of elders and local leaders who sat together to decide the dispute within the community without going to court. So, unfortunately, the Sheetal and Zarak lost their life because of this unjust, unlawful, and outdated Jirga system. So, it was shocking for me.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kurata. Let me also come to you as well and tie up just a little bit of your initial reaction on hearing this particular news.
Having me, I really hope that I'm audible. So This is not the first time Pakistan is witnessing such incidents of the honor killing, and definitely it will not be the last. So when I came across this video, it was really heartbreaking and even disturbing to see the video being shot. And as in the video it is portrayed, it was her own brother who was shooting at her
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
the alleged other member. And there were so many contradictory remarks from media as well. Many people were in favor. They were like, they did a good thing. The Jirga decided a well thing because somehow
Mm.
they both were having kind of affair. But there were so many contradictory remarks on that as well. Some people were justifying, some were against it. But the video originally, it was so disturbing to see that these people, they rely on these jirga systems and the feudal system that is going on in the tribal belts of Pakistan for their lives and deaths. So I don't know whether this will be the last. I do not believe, and I do not see this happening in the near future, that such kind of incidents will be the last. So let's hope for the best.
Thank you so much. So, let me come to you, Anouise. First of all, I want you to describe to us what these honor killings are like, especially in the Pakistani context. What can you just give to someone that's not in Pakistan and probably people in communities that don't have a good understanding of what it's like? Can you give us a little bit of a description of what this situation of honor killings is like and what it's all about? That's to you, Anouise. Or Anis, rather.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for joining me. Uh, the honor killing in Pakistan context, if I elaborate it, are known as karokari. Karo means black. Karokari,
Mm,
it's means black woman or black men. It's honor killing is a killing to a man or a woman on the name of honor. When a man or woman get married with his or her choice without the permission of their parents, then they think that it's a harm to our honor. Then they
mm,
decide to kill the woman or man. But particularly in Pakistan, women are killed on the basis of honor.
mm. All right, thank you so much. So I will come to cool art as well. I want you to also give us a bit of description, and especially from the legal perspective of things. Can you describe to us what the honor killings are like in Pakistan? And that's to you, cool art.
Told us about the practice of kara kari. So if we take this practice in simple words, so we can say that kara means a disreputable man, and kari means a disreputable female. So it is a practice in which when someone, usually woman, is killed just because she did anything which which a specific tribe thinks that it brings dishonor to that tribe, so they kill them. Or if we talk about the legal perspective, so in
Mm,
Pakistan, our judicial system clearly don't permits the honor killing. There are many
mm.
anti-honor killing laws in Pakistan, and moreover, this practice is simply considered as murder, nothing else in law.
Mm. Okay, I wanted to talk about this later, but since we're on it, let's actually go to the legal aspect of things. And I do want you to give us a bit more light into whether the legal system of Pakistan does actually help to alleviate this. Because now, in the course of my research, I saw some very interesting things. For instance, there's the law of evidence in Pakistan that equates one man's testimony to that of two women. And then there's also the hard conviction as well, whereby in a rape case, only the evidence of four upstanding Muslim men are allowed to say, okay, and they must have witnessed the act for them to say, okay, yes, this person can be charged to rape. And these kind of laws seem to be able to even give license for women to be violated. And even in this case of honor killings, I found out as well that when a woman, for instance, if they have killed their daughter for marrying someone that they didn't want her to marry, if the relatives decide to forgive the person that killed her, then they can go scot-free, then they can be acquitted. So can we really say that the legal system in Pakistan is actually alleviating this issue of fueling it, because it seems like it's giving, the standards for men and women are quite different. It seems it's actually subjugating the women more and not even giving them a right to speak up, because even in the instance of rape, if the woman fails to be able to claim that, or to be able, if she fails to be able to charge the rapist to court, then she's apparently convicted for adultery. Which, I mean, when I saw that, it's so heart-wrenching. So it seems as though the legal system is not very balanced. So before we go deep into that, I want you to give us a bit on that. Do you actually think that the legal system in Pakistan is helping this situation?
Okay, if we talk about the legal system of Pakistan, so there are many laws which specifically deal with the welfare of women. Like there are anti-harassment laws, as I had mentioned earlier. There are rape laws for women. There are different harassment laws for the protection of women. So I can say that Pakistan is not providing the protection to women rights. Pakistan is do providing protection to women rights. In fact, if we go to our constitution, Article 25, it clearly says that every citizen of Pakistan is equal before law and there will be no discrimination on basis of gender. So in Pakistan, in fact, fun fact, in Pakistan there is a special court for specially which deals with the matters of women, and it is called FOSPA. And if we talk about what you are talking about, anti evidence act. So if we, so the Evidence Act of Pakistan is derived from the Islamic jurisprudence, and it truly based on the principles of Islam, and it is mentioned in our constitution that we can't make laws which are repugnant to Islamic injunctions. So I will not talk about the law of evidence because it is derived from Islamic background. But if you will study Islam in future, so you will get to understand that concept. But other than that, there are many laws in Pakistan which protect women, which provide opportunities for women. Even there are special seats reserved for women in parliament and in many government jobs.
So much, Kuat, for that perspective. Let me also get a little bit on Anis as well. Yeah, you're also a law student as well. So from your experience with the law, what do you have to say about the legal system that is in place to actually give justice to these women? Are they doing what needs to be done?
Pratal, and I said in evidence law, which is now Kanun Shahadat order in Pakistan, which you are saying that according to given evidence in respect of rape and the cases, uh, which Kanuni Shahadat order elaborate that in the matters of financial matters like future and financial matters, the evidence of one man is equal to two women.
Mm-hmm.
But in other matters, like in murder matters, only one or
Okay.
two or only one witness would be enough. And
Okay.
which is the in matter of rape, Islam allows for men to prove that rape occurred.
Hmm.
But there are two types of in this context. There are two types of like rape. One is
Hmm.
rape, which is now without will of girl, but the other is fornication with will. So there are two types. So
Okay.
um, in fornication, no need of like the evidence, this type of evidence. But in
Hmm.
rape cases, Islam says that uh, uh, Islam says that that's why the like it should be difficult to prove the rape, so that the persons could be not get punished easily. That's why the strict criteria of evidence in Islam.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that. Although, I mean, when you say there are two types of rape, I mean, I think rape is rape really, because if it's more of fornication, that is adultery, then it's not rape. It's more of, okay, a consensual sin that is wrong, and that's fine. But I think if we're talking about rape here, obviously there is nothing like consent. So, I mean, if you do say that according to the law, rape is divided into two, that is the consensual and then the non-consensual, well, I don't know how I view that, because I believe if a woman comes forward to say she has been raped, we shouldn't look into whether it was consensual or not. If it was consensual, then she won't bring it to court. But I mean, I appreciate you clarifying that. I'll definitely be sure to go back and do some more research. And let me come to Tayaba now. Like Anwi's and Kurat have pointed out already, when we go into the genesis of these honor killings, we see deep-rooted cultural norms and social attitudes that are very hard to alter. So these things, and of course they're being justified because they say, like they said earlier, they're defending their tradition and of course defending religions as well. So to what extent have these practices and these beliefs hindered the pursuit of justice? And of course this has obviously slowly normalize this honor-based violence that we see. So to what extent have these beliefs and these traditions been normalized, even in the face of it being an oppressive system, especially to the victims?
Right. So here, basically, you need to understand that there are two sides of the coin. There is one side of Pakistan where most of the women, they have the access to the facilities. They are living in the main cities. They have access to best quality education,
Mm,
healthcare, everything. Then there are kind of people
mm,
who are from remote area, a bit far-flung areas, the villages. They follow a tribal system. They follow a feudal system. And in that system, the decision making lies with the feudal lord or the Sardar or Nawab, which they call them in their local languages or dialects. So they rely on them for their decision making. These are the traditions of those people in those remote areas that has been following for centuries. And these
mm,
are not just the tradition or cultures, these are the mindset of the people that have been embedded in them, not just for a few decades, but for so many years. And it will go on for so many years because you can change
mm,
them by law or by awareness, but these people, they are not even ready to talk about their tradition or their cultures. They are not ready to seek any clarification even by law. So these are the kind of even disputed areas. They follow a tribal system, and the laws and Pakistani regulation, they cannot do anything about that because eventually they are in power and they have to seek vote or support from these people, right? These feudal lords. And all the people under these feudal lords or the people which is known as the Riaya, or if they are the Raja or Nawabs or the feudal lords or Sardar of that area, they just do whatever their Sardar or their Lord says. They do not object if they do not have the right to even question it, that whatever you are saying is right or wrong. They just have to do it. So these regulations, these laws are just a kind of bookish thing and they are just in theory. There are multiple laws for harassment or honor killings or for women rights, women empowerment, but there is no implementation when it comes to real life. Because eventually these are the men that are sitting on the executive positions, on the higher positions. So if a woman, she approaches a law or a regulation or a lawyer or some court for her rights, or because she is being abused or because she is being harassed, eventually the men are going to deal with this. And the first thing they do is they
mm,
ask or they question the woman. They
mm,
raise questions on her character. They ask her, why are you doing this? What was the backstory? And they're going to dig in so
mm.
much depth that eventually the woman is
Yeah.
going to be embarrassed and ashamed, and she'll be
Mm-hmm.
like that, all right, fine, it's my mistake, I accept it, I'll just go back. So
Yeah.
these laws, these regulations, they are good in books only, but when it comes to implementation, there is no as such implementation. There are lots and lots of cases on daily basis that are being reported. This case of Sheetal and Zarak, this is just a case that was reported and so much talked about in social media that eventually the government was forced to take action on it because of the public opinion and the public pressure. But there are multiple cases that just go
Thank you
unreported.
so much. Yeah. All right, thank you so much, Ayaba. And I want to point back to something you said, because you spoke about how, okay, there are different parts of Pakistan. And now I want to come to that. Looking at factors, some people would suggest that another reason for this is extreme poverty, and then the reason why they do these honor killings, that is extreme poverty and sometimes the inability to satisfy the basic needs, and so that creates a condition where the honor killings rather may be utilized as a mechanism to address this economic desperation and all of that. So how would you say that there is this intersection of economic hardship and gender-based violence? How do you see these economic factors contributing to this situation? And so, from what you've said, is it that this particular culture are only more applicable, there's more of a social class whereby there are actually other women in the higher class that don't experience this? Is this something that's more peculiar depending on the social class or the social strata that you are based on? Just a little bit on that.
Right. So I do not second that. I do not believe that it is because of any social class or poverty or economic deprivation that these people are facing. You won't believe these people are super rich. The tribal areas, the feudal lords, they have all kinds of luxuries, all kind of facilities that even a person living in the main city might not have. So there is no such thing as that you justify honor killing because of the social classes or because of the economic deprivation or some kind of poverty they are facing. There is no such thing as that. This is the mindset. The brought up of these people are in such a way that from the start, from the basic age, when they are a few years old, they are just taught that men are somewhat superior and women is somewhat obliged to follow them and just say yes to whatever the men say. So eventually, when when the women do not just do what the men are saying, they are killed at the name of honor because they feel that it is a disrespect or it is an attack or threat to our reputation that our women are going against us. So I do not believe that it has to do anything with the social classes or the poverty because these people, they are very well off, they are very rich. They do not have any kind of poverty or any kind of issue with food or, such kind of facilities. They have world class everything. So it does not have to do with the social class or poverty. It is just the mindset, the way they are brought up, the way their tradition are embedded, the culture are embedded so much so that they cannot just go against their traditions.
Okay, thank you so much, Hayaba. Let me also get your thoughts on that, Kurat, as well. How much of a role does social class and economic status have to play in determining which women are more vulnerable to this kind of violence?
Okay, Tony. So I have a little contrary view than the Taiba. I think poverty makes things worse. In some poor families, there is a concept. They think that nothing. They think that they have nothing to lose, but just an honor to protect. So if we see in the women who belongs to poor families, especially in rural areas, they are more at risk of these type of offenses because they lack the social justice, the access to social justice. They lack the access to social to specific support system. They are financially not independent. They are dependent upon their male members, and male members are not giving them enough. That's why they are not getting their rights properly.
All right, thank you so much, Kurat. We'll take a short break now, and when we come back, we'll delve more into the conversation. So please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hello and welcome. You're still watching on Rights, Crime and Justice, coming to you from Gringo TV. We've been speaking to some very wonderful Pakistani women who have been giving us insights on the recent viral video that occurred of two couples that were being gunned down by their relatives because of their marriage affair. So let me come back to you now, Anis. Still on this issue, I actually came across a comment someone made on social media saying that these killings are not just about preserving cultures or religious values, but it's actually a desperate attempt to crush female autonomy, which is of course rooted in patriarchal control and gender terrorism. So as a Pakistani woman, do you agree with that take? How bad would you say the situation of patriarchal control is in Pakistan, and what experiences have you had or witnessed other people having?
Sorry, can you again ask
Oh,
the question?
okay, yes. So I said that of course this issue is rooted at from the statements of some people online that this is rooted more in trying to crush female autonomy, and it's rooted in patriarchal control. Okay, so I want to know now your experience as a Pakistani woman, and how bad do you think the situation of patriarchal control is in your region, in your community, and have you had any certain experiences or you've witnessed experiences whereby you know that women, the female autonomy is trying to be crushed, and then of course there's gender terrorism as well.
Okay. Yes, as a Pakistani, I faced many type of issues like harassments to women. If a
Mm,
woman is going alone on the road, no matter on which time, if it's in the day or night, she faces many type of harassment, and in
mm,
working places also we face a harassment. But with that situation, sometimes we receive respects as well. But our in Pakistan there are laws related to women, to protect women, and now in police stations there is a specific place where a woman can express and tell her story, and uh, on her story they take action.
all right, thank you so much, Anisa. Let me come back to you, Taya. But based off on what Anisa said, we see that of course this is affecting her daily life and then the decision making of women. So also, I want to know how does this situation of patriarchal control, that is, if you agree that this is the order of the day, of which I think you already did allude to a bit. So how does this manifest in your daily lives and the decision making as a woman?
Yeah, so you're definitely right. The Pakistani society, it is a highly patriarchal society. The men, they are the controller, they are the decision maker, they are the people
Mm-hmm.
who are sitting at the top positions. And eventually the women, even though she is right, even though she is demanding her right, she have to somehow seek assistance from
Mm,
these men. So in her,
mm.
this day obviously affects her daily life and her decision making as well. So most of the time, as you can see from this case as well, while making a decision, a woman have to be very much considerate of the people around her, that how her decision is going to impact her family, her brothers,
Mm.
um, her father, her husband, her son, how are they going to impact the male of their family? So, in case there is some kind of a controversial decision or some kind of a decision that does not sit well with the family, then eventually the women have to let that go. So that
Mm.
in career wise as well, in her professional life as well, and in even daily life as well,
Wow.
women, they have to go through this. Just today,
Yeah.
and as Anis also mentioned that in police station there are such departments would deal with the women, but eventually again the men, they are sitting at the executive position, and these executive
Wow.
position people at them, they have to make the decision at last. So eventually
Wow.
the things, when they move to the
Mm.
top tiers, so they just get
Mm-hmm.
a lot diverted and a lot much scattered. So they are not presented in the
Mm,
actual way that they were bought by someone. So,
mm,
yes, these cases, the harassment cases, the catcalling, these are very much common in workplace as well. But now the good thing is that because the coming generation, they are very much aware of this. So they kind of, they do not stay silent now. So if there is some sort of thing like that happening against women or even men, they bring this point up. And now social media is the best justice guaranteed. So if the thing is on social media and it
mm,
just catches the
yeah.
spotlight and people are talking about it, so eventually the government have to take some action against it. So now the things are moving a little bit towards betterment, but it will still take decades for it to be completely embedded in our culture and traditions.
Thank you so much, Tayaba. Let me come to you now, Kurat. With all of these things we've said, the experiences you've had, and every comment that everyone has made, do you have hope that these harmful practices and cycles can come to an end in Pakistan? Just as Tayab is saying, what when you look towards the future, what do you think? Would you think it will be any different soon? Maybe even in the next generation, not even too far. How far along would you say Pakistan is in terms of women rights movement and ensuring that there are equal opportunities for women?
Okay. So, are you talking to me or are you talking to Alize?
Yes, to you, Kuat. Yes.
Okay, sorry, I got confused. So, in respect of women rights, I believe that there is progress in awareness and in activism. But as the Taiba said, the implementation of laws is slow. And there are some
Mm,
areas in which the implementation is strong, but there are also some areas in Pakistan in which the implementation level is zero. So, but if we think about what is Pakistan ever going to overcome these types of practices, so I am optimistic and I think
mm,
that soon, inshallah, Pakistan will end all these kinds of practices because it will take time, but it will eventually happen. And I think which
mm,
our people needs to understand is that it's not only government's duty to do to end all these practices. People also
yeah.
have to play their role. Once when the government and people will work together with education and strong laws, then these kind of practices will eventually come to an end.
All right. So finally, just from you, Kuat, what would a culturally sensitive reform look like to you? So what needs to happen and needs to be done in these communities in terms of advocacy, justice, and even in reorientation of the people as well? What needs to be done to ensure that they move towards equitable gender relations? Just your final thoughts on that.
So reform shall respect culture, I think, but it must protect the rights. And I think that we need to educate the community that nothing will happen if our women will get their rights. And if we stand for the women's rights, it will not affect our values. In fact,
Mm-hmm.
the founder of Pakistan, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, said in his speech that no nation can rise to the height of glory unless their women stand side by side to them. So, our
Mm.
people need to understand that if there will be fairness between women and men, then it will benefit the whole society.
Thank you so much, Kuat. And let me also hear from you, Anis, as well. What needs to be done to ensure that there is an equitable gender relation in Pakistan? What do you want to see?
Yes, I think first of all, educate the women. When women would be educated, they know their rights and reform traditional justice system jigas to include women voices and follow fair legal standards. Empower women economically through culturally accepted opportunities to reduce dependency because women when dependent on the men the men think that we are god and
Mm,
what we order that will happen your life is in our hand so
yeah.
economically the woman must be independent, must be strong, and ensure laws are strong but applied in culturally sensitive ways, making justice accessible and trusted. This approach builds change from within the community, balancing respect for culture with the need for equality and justice.
All right, thank you so much, Anouise. And then finally to you also, Tayaba, as well. What do you want to see to ensure that Pakistan can move forward from this situation?
So, first and foremost, I believe it is the education, and not just the education of the women, but the men need to be educated equally.
Yeah.
That it is the duty of the mother, the family to just educate their son that even if a woman is excelling in her field, if she's getting the education, if she is independent, she's earning more than you, it's not going to threat you. It's not even any kind of harm to your existence.
Yeah.
You just live side by side to a woman. A woman is doing whatever in her career limited to in accordance with the religion and tradition, and she's not threatening your religion, and she's not doing anything illegal that is prohibited by the religion, so it's not going to affect you in any way. So education, and then secondly, I think the economic opportunities as well for the women, equal economic representation, equal representation in the government, in all the other sector where men have the equal rights and more say. Women must also be given the equal representation as well as the say in decision making. So I believe that it is the duty of the coming generation and the mothers of this generation to just educate their son as well on how to respect a woman, how to not feel threatened if a woman is doing good in her career, and if you're not, that's fine. It's not going to have, you're not going to die if you do not do well and she's doing well. So you need to equally respect a woman, either that is your mother,
Yeah.
that is your sister, or just a woman going on road not related to you. So these are the things that need to be changed, especially in our mindset. If we do not change the mindset of the coming generation, no matter the education, no matter the facilities they have, it's not going to change in coming years.
Thank you so much, Hayaba. I really like that perspective as well because, yeah, we shouldn't just say we need to educate the women, the men as well. And like you said, they are the ones that are at the top, of the decision making. So they also need to have a reorientation. So thank you all to my wonderful guests for those very insightful conversations. It's been a very lovely conversation with you all. And I think one key thing that we need to remind ourselves of is that the honor killings are beyond just cultural expressions like we see, but it's actually a systematic subordination of these women, and it is a fundamental violation of their human rights. And so it, of course, requires immediate action. So it's important that we strive towards the elimination of these honor-based violence and, of course, safeguard the most vulnerable citizens, particularly the women. This has been on Rights, Crime and Justice, coming to you from Green Grit TV. Many thanks for watching. I'm Tonio Gubanjo. It's bye for now.